A stubborn passenger refuses to switch seats for a struggling mom. But when the flight attendant takes action, the entire cabin falls silent. You won't believe what happens next. Before we dive in, if you believe kindness matters more than ego, hit that like button, subscribe to the Jones Life Stories, and share this video with someone who needs to see it. Let's hit 5,000 likes for more inspiring stories like this one. It was a bright morning at JFK International Airport. Passengers were boarding Flight 207 to Los Angeles. Among them was Marilyn Jones, a single mother of two, traveling with her 10-year-old daughter, Alina, and 6-year-old son, Malik. They were headed to LA to see her father, recently diagnosed with a terminal illness. As they boarded, Marilyn noticed something off. Due to a last-minute airline shuffle, her seat was separate from her kids. She was in 12C, while Alina and Malik were in 25A and 25B. Not ideal. She politely asked the man in 25C if he'd switch so she could sit next to her children. The man, Bradley, sharply refused. "Not my problem," he said coldly. "I paid for this seat. I'm not moving." Alina clutched her little brother's hand, nervous. Marilyn, holding back tears, looked around helplessly. Other passengers just watched. No one offered help. Then came Ezekiel Jones, the flight attendant. Calm, professional, always smiling. But when he saw Marilyn's tears and Alina's worried face, something shifted in him. Ezekiel was more than a crew member. He had been in Marilyn's shoes years ago. A single dad once struggling to raise a son in foster care. Now he carried both empathy and authority. He approached Bradley politely. "Sir, the mother would like to be seated next to her young kids. Would you mind switching to 12C?" Bradley scoffed. "I paid extra for this seat. I'm not switching for some sob story." Passengers nearby muttered, clearly uncomfortable. Ezekiel didn't flinch. "Sir, we are trained to ensure minors are safely accompanied. We're asking for a basic act of humanity." Bradley raised his voice. "Is it in the rule book? No? Then I'm staying put." The tension spread like wildfire. The cabin grew quiet. One woman pulled out her phone to record. Marilyn whispered to Ezekiel, "It's okay. I'll sit far. Just tell them not to cry." But Ezekiel shook his head. "Not on my flight." He walked to the front, picked up the intercom, and with the calm power only a Jones could deliver, he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a mother traveling with her 2 young children, one with special needs. A passenger has refused a seat switch. While we cannot force kindness, we can encourage it. I'll be personally giving up my rest seat in business class so this family can sit together." Gasps filled the cabin. Then came applause. And to everyone's surprise, the woman next to Bradley stood up. "Give her my seat," she said. "I'd be ashamed to sit beside someone like him." One by one, passengers stood and clapped. Marilyn and her kids were escorted to business class. The kids' faces lit up with joy. Bradley, now isolated, stared at the floor. Later during the flight, a woman from first class approached Ezekiel. "You handled that with dignity. I'm a journalist, and that was one of the most moving things I've seen on a plane. I'd like to share your story." Ezekiel smiled humbly. "It's not about me. It's about standing up for the voiceless." What Bradley didn't know, Ezekiel wasn't just any flight attendant. He was the CEO of Unity Wings, an airline founded with the Jones family's tech fortune. He worked on board monthly to stay grounded in real service. The video went viral. Within 48 hours, kindness at 30,000 feet trended worldwide. People praised Ezekiel. Unity Wings' stock rose. Marilyn's story touched millions. Bradley? He was suspended from his executive job after his company saw the video. As for the Jones family, Marilyn, Ezekiel, and the children, they met again weeks later for a charity event. Alina handed Ezekiel a drawing of the flight. "You saved my mommy," she said. Tears welled in his eyes. "You three saved me," he whispered. As the flight landed, Marilyn stood up, holding Malik's hand. Alina was still in awe of the business class experience. Fresh juice, comfy seats, smiling faces. But what stuck most was dignity. Her mom didn't beg. A stranger stood up for her. At the terminal, Marilyn paused. "Ezekiel, can I ask something?" He turned. "Yes, Miss Jones. Why did you help me like that?" "You didn't have to. Most people don't." Ezekiel gave a gentle smile. "Because someone once helped me when I thought the world forgot I existed." Flashback to 15 years ago. A younger Ezekiel, exhausted, with his 5-year-old son in a cold shelter. A stranger gave them shelter and food. That moment changed everything. "You reminded me of that night," he continued, "and I had to pay it forward." 2 days later, the video of the flight had gone viral. 35 million views and counting. Hashtags were everywhere. Shang kindness in the sky, on flight, hero Ezekiel, our Jones family justice. Even major outlets like CNN and The Guardian picked up the story. Unity Wing's CEO, Ezekiel's sister, Naomi Jones, held a press conference praising frontline employees. Meanwhile, Bradley's face was plastered across tabloids. His employer released a statement cutting ties. In one of the broadcasts, a clip aired of him saying, "I paid for this seat." The world wasn't impressed. Surprisingly, Bradley reached out through a video post, visibly shaken. "I watched that video 100 times. I saw my reflection, and I hated it. To Marilyn Jones and her children, I'm sorry. I don't expect forgiveness, but I needed to say it." The internet was divided. Some were skeptical. Others believed in second chances. Marilyn? She watched the video quietly from her father's home. Her dad, in a hospital bed, held her hand. "You're strong, just like your mother was," he whispered. "I'm proud of how you handled it." A month later, Unity Wings invited Marilyn to their HQ for a ceremony. Alina and Malik were given honorary wings, and Ezekiel was promoted to Director of In-Flight Service Training, where he began a kindness-based leadership program. At the event, Ezekiel said, "We train our staff in safety and service, but now we'll train them in courage too." Marilyn stepped up to the podium. "I was a mother trying to stay invisible, but Ezekiel saw me, and that made all the difference. Never underestimate the power of being seen." The story closed full circle with the Jones family, Naomi, Ezekiel, Marilyn, and the kids, launching a new initiative, Seats of Kindness, a program to help struggling families and single parents fly with dignity. The video ended with Alina narrating softly, "Sometimes heroes don't wear capes, they wear uniforms, and they see people no one else does." When one heart chooses kindness, it can change the entire flight path of a life. Still here? That means this story touched your soul. Do the kind thing. Tap that like button, subscribe to the Jones Life Stories, and share this with someone who needs a reminder that humanity isn't lost. Let's hit 5,000 likes to keep the kindness flying high. See you in the next story.